Okay, we're back again. We've finished off a few more patches. As you can probably tell, we expanded the patches over the front cracks with some larger sheets of fiberglass material, and then they've been resined in front, and then back here along this side. There's a few pockets where the resin didn't quite seep in. We'll have to figure out what's going on there, but did a pretty good job of it. So we're going to go over the entire bottom again today with one more coat of this glassy resin and get it nice and thick across the whole thing. Good coat to get all this old fibers back and buried under some resin again good. A quick walk around this way and check out some of the thicker resin patches we did yesterday. Big chunk of heavy resin done into this patch on this side, and same up at the fronts to fill in those large cracks. I'll be coming back over those and sanding out some of the blue tape that got stuck in the resin. We're sanding all those things back down to even and using a little Bondo filler to even it out once we're doing the outside for the final. So let's kick this over and get to work. So there you have the first bout of shaping and some initial grinding to clean up some of the over drips along the edges and all down along the front, and a little shaping work on some of these crack patches we've done. Take a walk up to the front here and get a little more of a show on that. Ooh, tight fit here. Especially when you're getting to be an older fat guy. There's some initial shaping on the back side of these patches where we did those cracks. Clean some of that up, bring it back towards being smooth with the rest in the rough way. And obviously have to do a lot more sanding, a lot more cleaning up of this top part. But all of our rough fiberglass work and patch repair is all done. We're gonna have to re-drill a few holes where we patched right over them. That's fabulous, better than not having it good and sealed up tight. See, a couple of them are going to need to be cleaned for sure. Ream them out with a drill quick. Then just hours and hours of sanding we're going to have to do to smooth this edge out and clean it all up. And then get some Bondo when we figure out where all the lows are and smooth some of that out and patch that up even more. And as this progresses, we'll throw out some more vid showing you how it's going. And lots of fun. About halfway through now with the sanding the first time through on the top. Work back the fender and this main patch here. Try and smooth it off and have a little bit of Bondo fill to get the rest of the gap there. Cleaned up a lot of the rest of this side. And now we've flipped things around. And we're going to come back at it, hit the middle here, some more, and we'll work this part of the nose and get it all cleaned up and smoothed out, ready for some body fill. And all the way back down the other side. So put this back and speed things up for you guys watching the video. When working on the fiberglass body, most recent stuff was a little bit of Bondo work we've done. Filling in top level of these cracks that we had resined and fiberglass from the back side. Then come around and trying to smooth it out and make it look back like the body. Filling in holes all the way around and cracks everywhere. A lot of sanding left to do. A lot more little bits and pieces to touch up with a little bit of Bondo here and there, so that we can come back through and smooth everything up. Made these initial sections and filled some holes. Going back in where some of the gel coat over the original fiberglass popped loose. You can see some of that original fiberglass back here in this beautiful metallic blue, Once Upon a Day. That was probably its most original color when it was first made by Kellison. This was a Kellison sandpiper body in the pickup truck format. It is not that anymore. It has been many times over chopped down and chopped up to the point now where it's literally just this little wing shell to give the buggy some shape. We're bringing it back to life a little at a time. Got a little bit of that high speed for you here in a bit. Show you how this long, boring process takes place. Doing some more shaping and sanding. When we're working in these curved corners and stuff, got a couple of homemade tools here. Took an old section of 80 grit, aluminum oxide, cotton cloth from a small belt sander. Tore a chunk of it up and stapled it to a square block. Took another section of it, stapled it on to a round block. The round one works great for getting into all these little curved corners and sanding everything smooth all through these sections. And of course, obviously the square one's good for big flat areas. So there's the tools we're going at it with. This next section of shaping, we're still smoothing out some of the filling we've done along this side and toward the back where so much of the old gel coat was chipped off, and we had to backfill in and smooth everything out, as well as through this area where we had the largest crack in this fiberglass body. So that's where we're at now. out of the speed view and into regular. This is the underbody, so we're not particularly super worried about the quality of the paint job, just that we get a uniform dark color across the bottom, so everything generally looks the same underneath. So this shiny glassy black over everything does a wonderful job of exactly that. Everything gets a nice uniform coat of black. It all generally looks the same color. And once this is dry, we're ready to flip it over, finish a bit more of that gray prime coat, and do a little buff sanding on that to smooth some things out. Put our second coat of primer down across everything. We still haven't gotten the front half primed, but the back quarters here are all primed underneath. Well, on top, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully here, we'll be moving towards putting this on that and getting ourselves moving a little bit more forward to getting ready to ripping the front end of that off to put it at the back end of that. All this fun and excitement. I realized that halfway through the time lapse it got a little windy and I stepped in and closed the garage door and forgot that the camera was sitting in the driveway filming. So the last half of my time lapse film was of my garage door. Truly brilliant. And here we have it. Sorry the lighting's probably not perfect to show it off as well as I'd like, but it's all pretty royal blue, they call it. Probably from this side it's a better color show. It's looking pretty good, I think. That's the better light it might be dangerous. I think it came out pretty cool looking. For a Kansas spray paint, it'll do well enough for me. Now, once she's all dry and hardened up, pick it up, set it on there, start figuring out where our tabs are going to go to lock it down. Take it off, do a little grinding and some tab welding, and put it all back together and get this fiberglass semi-permanently attached. I'm sure this thing will probably come apart and go back together a couple more times before this job's done. We'll see. Here's the first fit of the reconditioned body back onto our cage frame. So there is how she's coming out looking now. I think all in all, it's pretty good. Looks pretty decent. Still got a lot to figure out on that back end. That's why it's just sort of fit together at the moment. Not sure where all that's going to go as we bring in the other parts. But for stripping it down and redoing stuff to get it to a point where it's ready to go, I think we're about there. I think it's looking pretty darn good. Back and show you more as the next phases take place.